It's going to be his first fight in New Zealand in over a year and a half, as Joseph Parker takes on Alexander Flores on the 15th of December. And he's facing a guy who's previously been stopped by Charles Martin. So you'd very much expect on that alone that Parker is going to interrupt this KO drought he's been having and look a little bit more like his older, explosive self. Now, Parker he's in a weird stage of his career. He's been on the big stage against Joshua, a unification fight. Bit of a shy performance, but many fighters don't even get that kind of opportunity. Then he had that lucrative loss against Dillian Whyte, which I really felt he should have won. He went to sleep for about 6 rounds in a row. It was painful to watch for a guy who's naturally more talented than Whyte. He finds himself now, having gone through this year, titleless, with the same trainer many believe he should get rid of. But he's still young, and you feel with Parker, probably not that many miles, he's probably going to get a shot at the big time again. With one of these belts, if they get fragmented, you'd imagine the Kiwi is probably just going to have another little sniff at some point, you would have thought. It's really a case of, can he up his game though? I think still the best Joseph Parker we ever saw was probably against Alexander Dimitrenko. Now, of course, people will go, well, I think Dimitrenko being crap and not having the heart to fight on says a lot about that. But I think just generally there was a spring in Parker's step, and he almost looked like he was starting to figure out his style more. He was stabbing him from the outside. There was more venom and snap to his shots. He was going to the body. It looked like he was fighting with spite and with a plan in that one. And we thought perhaps after the tough Takam fight, is he really starting to inject that experience into his youthful body now and start to look a bit more hazardous? Since then, it's been the same story with Kevin Barry. He switches on, then he switches off for long periods of time. He fights too upright. He's upright in clinches. He's up. That's why he got decked by such a good, fair play to Dillian Whyte, great catch hook. But Parker let himself get hit by that great shot and get floored for the first time as a professional by going into a clinch straight up like this with your hands by your chest. Bad idea, you're asking for it. It's got to the point now, we know he's not going to get rid of Kevin Barry. It's not healthy when you're friends with somebody like that. Sometimes you need a little bit of the enemy in your trainer to be like, look, you're doing this wrong. Give them a bit of jip. You need to do this. You need to move more. And I think sometimes because they have got that friend element to them, that it's hard to really address the genuine problems and make him recognize them. Because if they're in this bubble of friendship, I think sometimes, yes, it is hard to really chisel your fighter into all they can be. If you look at the likes of Michael Moorer and Teddy Atlas, they did not get on. But I think part of that chemistry, that violent chemistry, helped get the best out of Michael Moorer. He didn't like the guy, he didn't like Atlas being in his corner, but it helped him go, right, well, I'm going to prove it. I'm almost going to use my dislike for you, take that on, and then put it onto my opponent. And I think Parker and Barry, they're not going to be separating. They could really use a little bit of that dynamic. I very much doubt that's going to happen. I'd be interested to know what a lot of you Kiwis think of the relationship. Is it unanimous? Do a lot of people just think he should get rid of Barry? Because it really does seem since the Takam fight he hasn't learned that much other than just to maintain his very friendly demeanour. But there's a little bit too much that I'm just happy to be here. I want to see now Parker's still only 26. Let's see if he can recognise in himself the inherent stylistic problems he has. Really get that venom and think, well, look, I'm already a rich man now. He must have millions in the double figures. Let's really have another good crack at it. Try and refine my style, be more of a pressure fighter. Try and seek salvage on the chest, work the body, and let's really, try and turn some heads this time. So, expect him to get rid of Alexander Flores. First half of the fight around. And then let's see if the Kiwi, who always had a lot of potential and still does, see if he can do some more damage.